I gotta give it to God because I just knew. Like, I feel like God really led me through all of that. You know, when I created that tier, I really didn't know what to put on tiers. I just created it. And what was on my packages was literally everything that people needed. And I sent it out, and literally, like, a Cella just hired me the next day.
Luxury Productions presents Survival of the Fittest podcast, a product for the people, by the people, where dreams go further than bullets. With your hosts, Lucky XL and Monz Logan. Let's go. Yeah.
All right, you squares. It's your boy, Lucky XL.
Mozzie Baby Monz Logan.
And this is Survival of the Fittest. Now, check this out. As you can see, we got a beautiful young lady on the couch. But before we go, let me tell you something about her, right? Chicago born and raised, South Side representative, Southern University graduate with degrees in communication and public relation, radio personality, founder of the talk show The Juice Chicago, marketing specialist with clients like the social media sensation Big Groove, right? And we like to welcome to the show Joycie Jay, and don't forget to say the juice.
Hey, what's up? Love the introduction, by the way.
Man, we gotta get turned up.
Yes. Well, I am glad and I'm happy I'm here, y'all. Shout out to y'all.
Hey, thank you. Hey, I want to start this off with the 65th year of the Grammys. I think I seen you making your rounds in LA. How was that?
Most definitely. Shout out to Oak Street Media, my label. I was actually out there with clients that I'm working with right now, the DCG brothers. They're very amazing young brothers in Chicago rapping right now. So we definitely got invited out there to do a few events around Grammys weekend. Travis Scott party, scene was with Offset. Like, really a lot of the moments were like so unreal. It was like crazy. Shout out to Regina Daniels, which is the GOAT in PR. Her husband is George out here in Chicago. So I really networked with a lot of Chicagoans out there and a lot of new people too. So it was great. But definitely, again, shout out to my label because they were the ones that made that happen.
That's what's up.
Ain't all deserving. To anybody that come from Chicago, man, we salute y'all. We support y'all in any and everything that y'all do. I want to know, is the Grammy still what it used to be when we used to watch Michael Jackson, Usher, Whitney Houston? I mean, I remember the big moments of MC Hammer. You know, do you still get excited about who's performing, who's winning awards?
So I will say this year, they brought it back to like a lot of old timer artists. It wasn't a lot of really young artists on the stage this time. Like, they had a lot of the old greats. So I think they are trying to bring back that feel. Like, you know, they're canceling a lot of young artists like the Baby. One Little Thing, you're canceled now. So I think the culture is slowly changing, even with drill music in Chicago. A lot of rappers and artists are realizing, like, it's not cool to talk about killing anymore. It's not cool to talk about your ops and what we about to do. So like, especially a lot of the young artists that I'm working with, you know, now, before that was the message, but I think Chicago is slowly, and even from like the Grammys and big events, we're taking a shift into a lot of things.
Yeah. So with that said, you know, like, what really fueled, you know, your passion for like journalism?
So, you know, it's crazy. That's a great question. I realized I was a journalist probably when I was like 7 years old, believe it or not, because and this is how I realized it. I always tell people, when you try to think of what you like to do, try to remember things you did as a kid. And when I was little, everywhere I went, I had a journal. I just loved writing. I remember for birthdays or holidays, really all I wanted was a journal or a camera. And that was from the ages of 7, like I said, and now I'm 26. So I realized as a kid that I just loved writing. And as I got older, I realized, like, hey, I want to write books. I want to write stories. And I also loved writing because I express my emotions with writing. You know, when you're young, when you have a crush, I used to be that person that'll write a note to my crush in the class. Like, that was me, you know, circle yes or no, right. Do you like me? That was me. Like, I was the note writer. So I realized, like, journalism always been in me. And so what made me realize that, though, was just being a kid and always having that journal.
Definitely understand. So, and I see that communications was a big part of, you know, just your life from a youngster to now, you know. So how important is, you know, the communication, that skill of communication, you know, in your field?
It's very important because if you want something done, you have to know how to elaborate it correctly to get it done. And it's sometimes not what you say, it's how you say it. So it is really important just to know certain communication skills. And one thing that I studied in college, it was called compassion communication. It just shows and teaches you how to speak to people with compassion and just coming from their point of view of things.
See, I might have to go back to school because they critique me and they give me pointers and tips like, you can't come at this, you can't say this, think about it another way, try rephrasing it. And I'm like, man, listen here, man, we all grown. If you don't understand what I'm saying now, you never gonna get it, but that is true.
Yeah.
I wanna say this to you. I remember, I think this was the second time, it was at the Bud Billiken Parade. I'm with Lil Jon and the crew, we running around, and here come you, DJ Nafis, his son, nephew, and the real Little Jon. And lo and behold, you had the camera around your neck.
Definitely, definitely.
And just from that introduction, your energy was just, you were just humble. So how important was that camera to your journey and the introduction of what you do now?
The camera is what got me in the door. I tell everybody, especially women, like women that wants to get in media, we really have it so much easier. Just get a camera and you'll get access to everything. When I came home from college, it was hard to really get in radio. I reached out to everybody for help and everybody told me no. But one thing, don't tell those lit people no because the doors always change.
That's what's
But
up.
that's another story. But like I said, I realized when I was young that I loved the camera. Like for Christmas and everything, all I wanted was either a journal or a camera. So when I was in college, shout out to SIU, all my Salukis. When I was down there, I started like a little vlog channel where I go around campus just filming like the events, Solar Bear, Polar Bear, Players Ball. Y'all know SIU was known for having those huge events. So I'm in the scene and I'm filming. And I grew up on the low end, the IW Wells. And when they knocked down the projects, they built Oakwood Shores. So I also had a camera. This was before college. And I would just film all my friends just outside. Either we having double dutch competitions or riding our bikes all through Hyde Park. And if I would come outside without my camera, my friends would be like, Joyce, what a camera, what a camera. Like I literally was known to just have the camera. So it's just crazy how as I got older, the camera just stuck with me. And like you said, recently, the Bud Billington 2 years ago, everywhere I go, I just love capturing moments. And I actually got that skill from my dad. My dad, he'd been a photographer his entire life.
Oh, wow.
So when I was little, I just remember him always saying, come on, Joycie, pose for the camera, pose for the camera. So it literally just grew in me.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Like I have photography in my background as well. It's the same thing. My pops, my grandfather was a dude. He had that, I don't know if you remember, you're a little young, but the camcorders that set on you.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, this dude would like capture every moment, you know, the craziest things, you know, so that's very important, you know. So what made you want to, you know, get into broadcasting? Because you said you were trying to get in the radio and the doors were shutting on you.
Yep. So I realized that I love the entertainment field when I was young, right? So when I was in grammar school, I always was like an entertainer. I was like the class clown in school. I loved making people laugh. I was in plays. I always was trying to do skits with my friends after school. I was that ding dong ditcher. Like I just always was that person getting in trouble. So that's when I realized like I love people, you know, people, I get energy off people. So that's when I just realized, okay, I have to always be around them and entertain. But with media, it's crazy how it like fell in my lap because I never thought I would have a show, like ever. Like if anyone was to tell me 6 years ago, yeah, you'll be on the radio, I wouldn't believe it.
We'd like to give a special thanks to our sponsor, Playpen Vodka. This premium vodka is gluten and sugar-free, and it's the only vodka that's cold vacuum distilled at temperatures of 50 degrees or below for that smooth and clean finish. Playpen Vodka. Pour, then play.
Because it's something that I never seen for myself. But it really all stemmed from, so I have a best friend. I met her when I moved to the suburbs. I went to Lyons Township. My mom didn't let me go to any high school on the south side because she didn't want me to get caught into the drama and commotion, which I'm glad she didn't because I more than likely would have. I moved to the suburbs and I met my best friend. She's still my best friend to this day. She's black and white. And mind you, I was the only black girl in all my classes when I was in high school. So I was actually angry. I was really angry. But my best friend, Jackie, she would always tell me like, Joyce, you gonna have a show one day. She like, I don't know what you go do, but you gonna be famous or something. And what's crazy is, so my best friend, she's a makeup artist. I thought she was gonna be famous. Right. I'm like, nah, girl, you the one beating everybody's face. Like, and at the time, Ari, I know y'all know Ari and all them, she stayed in the burbs too. So my best friend was doing Ari makeup and everything before she was from Moneybag Yo, of course.
Right.
So I was looking up to her, and the whole time she was looking up to me. But she was the first person that told me like, yeah, you gonna have a show one day. And I was like 15 when she told me that. I met her when I was 12. So basically, as time went on, I went to college, and I just realized I always was a people's person. I was either throwing events, throwing parties. Right. Like y'all see, I recently just put in my story, I had a party in my apartment, at least 50, and that was almost every weekend, throwing parties, events. And I was the life of the party. I'm filming. Y'all see, I'm filming myself. I'm filming everybody else. I'm providing, liquor. I love, what makes me happy is when people are having a good time. That's what I realized. So with media at SIU, it was a small radio station, right? And what's crazy is I would always walk past it. Since my major was speech communication, the radio station was in the same building as my major.
Right.
So speech communication, radio, it like all goes hand in hand. So at the time, I still didn't know what I wanted to do. When I was in college, my minor was PR, but when I was in college, I didn't even know what PR was.
Right.
I literally minored in PR because it was easy, and it went with speech communications.
Right.
And I talked to my advisor. When you're, for those who don't know, when you are in college, you all have an advisor, and your advisor is the one that like guides you to let you know what proper classes to take. So I really didn't know. I was like, hey, give me something easy. I'm trying to hurry up and graduate. I'm getting in debt. College is very expensive. So I'm like, can I hurry up? I'm trying to graduate.
Right.
Cause my mom told me, you graduating because you're not coming home back to my house without a degree. You better not get pregnant, and don't come home with no man because I'm not talking to you or the baby. That's what she told me. I'm damn, okay. So I just always just wanted to graduate. Like that was the only thing on my mind. I wasn't thinking of a show. I wasn't Joycie Jay. I wasn't thinking of none of this, what I am today. So like I said, I was in the realm of, I would walk past this radio show all the time. That's why I really do tell people, like, sometimes what you want is right in front of you. Mm-hmm. And like sometimes your calling is right there. You just gotta walk into it or just look. So I would walk past it, and this girl I knew, she was a black girl on campus. She had a show in there, and I was like, wow, this black girl got a radio show? What? Like, I was just so amazed. Right. I was so amazed. I was probably like 19 at the time, like 19. So I never went in the show. Mind you, I never went in there, but I started talking to her, and me and her we had classes together. So me and her, we actually got really cool. And as I graduated, I came home to Chicago, and my mother has a daycare out here. She actually just closed it, actually. She had it for like 25 years on the south side of Chicago. So it was right on the side of Sip and Savor. You guys familiar? Sip and Savor, black owned, which is my favorite coffee shop. Shout out to Tess, the owner. Black owned coffee shop is way better than Starbucks. Let me say that for sure. So my mother daycare is on the side of Sip and Savor. So everybody coming out of Sip and Savor.
I know that daycare.
You know that building?
Yeah.
Right there. Yep. So it's been right there for a long, long time.
Right.
And I was working there with my mom in the midst of me doing radio PR and everything.
Right.
So when I came home from college, I was that student. Well, I was that daughter that, and what's crazy is the white people do it. The white people start businesses and let their kids run it. But I was that child that didn't want to do that. I was like, I don't want to follow my mom's footsteps. I want to figure out what I'm doing. And at the time, like I said, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Right. But I just knew being around people and something in like media was calling my name.
So let me ask you this. What was the first local or college experience or high school experience that you had that gave you the self-belief to be like, you know what? I'm going to pursue this come hell or high water. I can do this. Do you remember that one moment?
When I was in high school, It was my 17th birthday party. I thought it was going to be something small. I told 5 people, at least 200 people came to my house trying to party with me.
Wow.
And I couldn't believe it. Like, my best friend was like, Joyce, all these people at your house, what you about to do? And this was my house. Like, they couldn't even all fit in my house. It was so many people, the police came. Mind you, this in the suburbs of LaGrange.
So you was popular like that?
Literally. So right there, that's what told me, okay. People just mess with me, you know, they just rock with me. So at that, I think like that's when I figured like, oh yeah, I want to keep doing this.
So talk to me about that shift to public relations. I see, you know, fate has it. You chose that as an easy way out, in college. But now this is part of your journey right now.
Isn't it crazy? I swear I say the same thing. I'm like, wow, I never would have thought I would be a publicist, ever. Right. Before I started doing PR, I never met a publicist. Like no one, I didn't even know what PR meant.
Break it down.
Absolutely. PR means public relations. I basically keep a good relationship with the public. It's literally a literal meaning, public relations. You want your publicist to know the public. That's what that means. So, and for an example, people hire publicists to get their message out, to get their music out, to get their point across. And you want your publicist to know a lot of people.
Right.
So if you're dealing with a publicist that been out here for a while, they always moving and grooving, that's someone to work with.
So for example, survival of the fittest, for everybody out there, survival of the fittest, y'all go like, share, subscribe right now. Survival of the fittest, survival of the fittest is looking for a publicist.
Oh, snap.
What you think?
So for a podcast show, absolutely. Some good media blast. Y'all need a media kit, electronic press kit.
Right.
It's a lot of good things y'all can get from a publicist, so for sure.
And how much is your percentage of it?
I can send y'all my tiers.
Ooh, okay.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, so, just what do you look for in clients? Is it just on a, hey, man, I got this idea and these are my tiers, or is it like something that you see within those clients that make you want to work with them?
So I can tell you when I first started, right? Because I started about 1.5 years ago. So mind you, I said I never met a publicist before, didn't even know where to start with PR. So I started from the ground up, literally.
Right.
When I first started, I'm like, well, I'm definitely qualified because I went to school for it. But I said, now I just have to put it to use. So I did some Googling and I researched and I did YouTube luckily I'm glad I kept a lot of my books from college too. College students, if you're in college, keep those books forever. They $200-$300. Don't ever throw those away. I have all my books from school. So what I did when I first started, I came up with tier packages. You have to, and tier packages is basically different packages that people can purchase from you, right, giving them bulks of work that they need. So when I first started, they were like dirt cheap. I didn't know what I was doing, you know. But what I did, I just put myself out there. And mind you, I started off in radio first. Right. So I already knew everybody. So I sent my tier packages to the 3. I said, you know what? I'm going to pick 3 big artists in Chicago, right? And I'm going to send it to all 3 of them. And I'm going to see who hire me. So that was literally how I started my PR journey. I sent it to the 3 biggest artists that I knew. And Chella H, my girl, she hired me the next day.
Shout out Chella H.
Shout out Chella H.
Shout out to Chella H.
Uncut.
Yeah, we waiting for that return too.
Chella H, I have to always give her credit because she's the first one and the only one that even replied to my text when I started my PR journey. Now, mind you, y'all know Chella been in the game been doing it. She's had publicists before. She worked with people in PR before, so she knew what it was. I didn't. I was fresh to the game. So, but what I love about Chella is she opened that door for me. She seen I was just grinding and out here trying to try. And she actually tutored me a lot too to, hey, this is what your clients will expect. Don't do this with your clients. Make sure you're like this with your clients. Don't act like that. So she really, and even with contacts, when I first started as a publicist, you have to know a lot of people. And I knew people, but not too many people. But Chella, she actually gave me access to her Gmail and said, hey, use these contacts, create a Google sheet, put everything together. And she was like, make it happen. So Chella was my first client. And then after Chella, that's when I met Big Groove. And from there, the rest really just been history.
So what didn't you know? Like when you put together the packet to send out to these different people to give you opportunity, in hindsight, what didn't you know that you can only learn once you start putting in the work and putting yourself out there?
That's a very good question. What didn't I know? Because it's crazy. Even with my tier packages, I came up with like the most perfect tiers. Like still to this day, no one has asked me, hey, why is this not on there?
Right.
You know, so what didn't I know? It's crazy. I got to give it to God because I just knew. Like, I feel like God really led me through all of that. You know,
Right.
when I created that tier, I really didn't know what to put on tiers. I just created it. And what was on my packages was literally everything that people needed. And I sent it out and literally, like, Chella just hired me the next day. But rather than what didn't I know, what I learned that number one, clients aren't your friends. Because mind you, when you just get in the game, you happy, you friendly. You know, you want to get close. Hey, I was that person. I had to learn to
Say no.
Saying no.
Not care.
It's definitely saying no, not overextending.
Right.
Making sure that you're not, because when you overextend it, you'll tire yourself. And I never want to do something to make me not like it. You know, so I will say I've learned that dealing with clients and because I'm dealing with so many different personalities. And if someone is paying you all this, because PR is not cheap. Now I charge my original price, let me say that. But just with these clients paying you so much money, they may go off on you sometimes. You know, they may complain a lot. You know, what they're going through, you'll be going through it. But I can't sit here and argue with them. You know, that's the big thing I learned. I'm not going to match their energy. You know, I have to be the professional and just let them vent because they're the creator. So creators are sensitive about their craft. So it's just really understanding artists and influencers and just realizing like, hey, they're putting their all in this. And yeah, some days they may get pissed at you. Some days they may take their anger out on you. But it's just always continue. Just what I learned is just keeping my head straight.
Now, what helped you differentiate that whole, you know, friend professional balance?
Well, what made me really realize it is when I realized with one specific client, I got like emotional, and I was like, why do I shouldn't care this much?
Right.
You know, like why do I care this? I care so much. I started crying over an incident, and that's when I realized like, no, I shouldn't. I put too much. I don't want to put that much in there where I'm crying and over a situation. Because mind you, with my clients, I still have a personal life myself.
Right.
But I will say that's the biggest thing I learned with PR. And when you do have clients, especially bigger clients, they really don't care about your personal life.
Right.
They want you to just listen to them and tend to their needs. And mind you, before I started doing PR, I had a very busy life. I really wanted to be an actress. Like, you know, a lot. So I will say, going back to your question, the biggest thing I learned is when you do decide to do PR, a lot of your things are going on the back holder because you have to help other people build their career.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So you mentioned that, you know, it's a very busy lifestyle. Like, how does that affect your personal lifestyle? Like, you know, does it affect, you know, your dating situation? Or
you read my mind. I was going there. Talk to us now. 5 years single.
6, actually.
6.
It does. It does.
Research. Oh.
Right. Okay. Look.
Okay.
Give me some shit.
Come on, journalists. That's the journalism for me.
Yeah.
But yes, it does. It does play a big role in that. You know, some men, like I get some comments and some men be like, I'm surprised you're not dating a big rapper right now. And it's like, why would I be doing that? I'm not even interested in. And then, you know, some men will just look at what I'm doing and be like, oh no, she be too out in the scene. I wouldn't even want to deal with all that.
Right.
You know, so it's definitely, it conflicts, but honestly, the point where I'm at right now, I don't even care about dating. All my friends, all my girls are like in situationships with men, and they all going through hell, to be honest.
What do you call it? Situationships?
Situationships. Something that's going on, but we really don't know what's going on.
Right.
That's what that is, you know? So I just listen to their drama and I don't have time. I will catch a flight so quick, you know. But I really do feel like, because I want to be married one day. Let me say that. I want to have kids. I want to be married. Like I dream. I actually been praying ever since I was little. I don't even know how. I was like 6 years old. I don't know how I knew about marriage so young, but I was praying ever since I was little. Like, God, one day just send me a husband. Yeah, for a long time.
Yeah.
So I do believe that that's going to happen, but I don't. I feel like I'm going to meet my husband probably like some doing what I'm doing, like kind of in my field type stuff.
Well, we had a discussion on how I should phrase this question, and I want you to put me straight if I don't phrase it correctly, but be honest. So do single mean not dating?
Not at all.
Okay, so break down what it means. If you tell us or you tell the audience, hey, I've been single 6 years, break down what that entails and what that means.
Being single 6 years, that means I haven't brought a man home to my mom in 6 years. Okay. Right. Now I'm still going out. I'm still having fun. I'm still going on trips with men. Absolutely.
Okay.
But have I brought a man home and met my people, and have I claimed the man or went out publicly with the man and held his hand?
Ooh, you vicious. Ooh. So for everybody out there, if you get the time of day from Joycie Jay, she might treat you like Steve Harvey's daughter did my boy Michael B. Jordan. One day y'all together, next day, man, she move on, man.
She was Snowfall.
Look, I just know whoever I do end up with, he has to be special. He's gonna be special because I'm picky. And I learned that like my sisters, I have a lot of sisters and brothers. My dad got like 12 kids. So, and I'm the youngest. Well, nope. I actually just met my little brother 5 years ago. I thought I was the youngest my entire life.
Right.
So I met Zach. But all my sisters, they tell me like, Joyce, you so picky. They be like, you ain't gonna never find a man. If I had $1 for how many times people told me I'm never gonna find a man, I'd probably be rich by now.
So what's the fear? Is it a fear, or is it just that because you're already in the public eye that you don't want people to misread you going on a date or just decide and say, well, I'm with this person right now? What's the hold up, the fear, or the reason?
I wouldn't even say it's a fear or a hold up because I'm a woman. I want love and companionship. I want a man to court me, and Valentine's Day coming up. Like, I want all of that. And I think every woman wants that. It's just I haven't found a man that has been compatible enough for me mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, and no aspect.
Ooh, and she got a straight face while she's saying all this.
Yeah.
I haven't met that in no aspect, and I'm not lowering those standards. Now, I've met men that I thought were pretty cool, but I've seen red flags. You know, so when I see those red flags, I don't wait. I leave, you know, immediately. If I'm messing with a guy, I've got did wrong by men. I'm not about to go mess up your car. I'm not about to blow up your phone. I quietly leave. So I just don't put myself in any situation like that. But I wouldn't say I'm fearful of it because my arms are open for love. I want to love. But I just know God is sending at the right time. But that's why he just been making sure my business and everything prosper.
So that's who you date, that hustle, that dream.
That's it.
Yeah. Right,
I love it. I wake up thinking about it.
Big bruh, right? Before you came, and what brought your whole thing to mind for all of us, he's going on a date. And I say, because he was asked, now he's in a serious relationship, but she say, well, baby, let's go out to dinner. If she proposed, let's going out, is that saying that she should pay for the meal? Because he was like, nah. I was like, so you paying? He's like, yeah, you know I'm still paying.
Wait, that's her, they're dating boyfriend and girlfriend, like official?
Yeah.
I don't know. If we official and I ask my man, let's go out, yeah, I'll pay for it.
Now, because you know there's been a thing circulating around social media saying that a man should pay for everything.
Now, if you're not my man, I'm not paying for nothing.
Yeah, I feel that.
You're not even getting a bag of chips from me if you're not mine. But if you're mine, I genuinely care about you. Like, I genuinely care about your financial stability. I genuinely care about your mental stability. So if you don't got it, I don't mind. But if you're not mine at all, I'd seriously give 2 Fs about what you have going on. So in my opinion, it just really all depends on our companionship.
Okay, big bro. So let her know since she want you, it's okay. You're gonna keep your dough in your pocket.
Yeah, like if that woman really care about you, fellas, I promise you, if a woman really care about you, she will never mind spending any money on you. But she has to actually like you. And that's the thing with dating. I realized like it's always that one person that likes someone else way more. And if the feelings aren't mutual, it's not gonna work. It's not.
Well, let me ask you, I'm gonna let you get in here, but say you starting out. I really want him because I know you might be thinking like.
What you want me to say? I go in there and tell her, baby, it's Valentine's weekend, but you.
On Valentine's weekend, people go act different.
Like a goddamn.
I forget.
Shit, I'm gonna edit that question out too. From the record.
Yeah, act right now. Look, Valentine's Day coming up.
I mean, I always got away with Valentine's Day. That's my grandfather's birthday, and he's no longer with us. He's here in spirit. So it's always been his day for me. But I don't mind celebrating the 13th, 15th, the 7th, whatever. I always felt like this day, every woman is getting roses or getting whatever. How does that make you feel special?
Because you got to think, as soon as I go to my phone, that's all I'm going to see. And if I don't have it, then I'm going to feel some type of way.
But what if you had it the day before?
The day before, not bad. But I wouldn't want it the day after.
I get that. That day after Christmas sale type of feel.
I wouldn't even want it. But the day before, yeah.
Right.
And then, like I said, whoever you dating, you guys should be on the same mental, like whoever you're with. I'm sure they would know what that day means to you. So as long as she understood that, she shouldn't even care or complain about you wanting to celebrate that day on a different day.
No, absolutely. And, saying what you're saying and hearing you, it brings, a lot of joy to me. I have a son, he's 21, just a few years younger than you. And to hear that there's still women in the world that are women, and that have like traditional standards and views towards the world, that makes me feel great. Well, I want to say this before I ask this question. You're onto something. You're going to find exactly who you're supposed to be with because you're not being impatient. You know what I'm saying? You know what you want and you holding out for it. What gives you that strength, though, to stay there and not fall for the fool's gold?
My grandmother. I'm named after my grandmother, Joyce. And don't get me, I have a lot of lonely nights. Like, I'm so disciplined. My inbox is full of people wanting to take me out and do things, but I don't reply to anybody. But all I just hear is my grandmother like, they not worth it. Don't waste your time. You're not about to, don't do that. Because, I fell for the okie doke before. I fell for all those before. But yeah, I guess when I just realized the value of my peace, I found that out a while ago. And I realized it's just way better just having peace rather than being around someone just to have company.
Right.
So I think once you realize the principle of the importance of it, because it's so important. I've been around men that, not just men and women, if you're around the wrong person in general, they can mess up your life. When I was in college, this is something I'll say out. I never in my life had to go to court, never had nothing on my background. I was with the wrong person. I was with a guy that I thought liked me. We went to the liquor store and he put a liquor bottle in my bag and they caught us on camera stealing and I had to go to court for that. So I literally had something on my background because of a guy that didn't have $25 for a Crown Royal bottle. And that was on my background for almost 3 years. So that lesson right there told me like, wow, it is so, so important to just have good people in your life.
Right.
So if someone not around me giving me love and inspiring me and motivating me, because I know that's what I come with. If you with me, it's always going to be something to do. It's always going to be an idea or a way to make something. So if I don't have that energy, I can't even be around it. I'd just rather be alone.
So I want y'all out there to really take heed to what she's saying. Because he just asked her a real poignant question. What allows you to hold on and maintain that discipline? Especially the industry that she's in and the people she's around is very intoxicating. The liquor is flowing, the money, the music, the drip, all those things, but you still have the ability to say, you know what? It's not my time. Not right now, and definitely not with you.
It's not. And just think about the people that love you. Like my grandmother, I always hear her. I just lost my grandmother passed about 3 years ago also. My mom and my grandmother raised me. So I was extremely close to my grandmother. So my grandmother helps me. I have her picture in my car everywhere I go. As soon as I look at my phone, it's a picture of my grandmother. So that really helps me. So I suggest with anyone else, when you are dealing with anyone, a man, a woman, just think of somebody that really loves you. Like a grandmother's love. Oh my God, what's better than a grandmother's love? They gonna make sure you eat, gas in your car, everything. So I just think of people like that, and I just ask myself, would grand want me to come home with this nigga?
Right.
And if I know my grand not gonna like it, I'm not gonna like it. So that's what really, really keeps me ground. Shout out to my grandmother.
I think you spoiled too now.
I am.
Listen to this. You might be too much.
I am. Absolutely. Grand would give me her last. I'm my mother's only daughter too.
Ooh, y'all in trouble out there trying to
And
please
my
her.
mother wanted a daughter so bad. So she had twins at first, which were boys. My brother's 4 years older than me. And then my mom was like, I need a girl. And she had me. Then she got a tubes tied. So I'm definitely my mother's, and I was my grandmother only granddaughter too. So the love that I got from my grandma,
your husband in trouble.
yes, and that's why I can't accept nothing less. I don't even know what it feels like to accept nothing less.
We're going to switch gears. We're going to do something that I know she would normally do. I already let you know what this is about. See, here on Survival of the Fittest, we do this thing called wet or dry, right? We're going to give you something. I don't know if you might have heard this before, right? You heard about the wet or dry?
Sound familiar.
Yeah. It's something that we do, and we're going to love what you say. People, places, or things. So I'm going to throw out some things to you, and I want you to say whether it's wet or dry. Angela Yee.
For sure wet.
Reason.
That's my girl. I actually was just at her house a few months ago, literally on her couch watching a movie with her. She's the GOAT. She has over 10 coffee shops in Brooklyn, New York, over 10 different properties. She was just everything. She has a book. She has restaurants, juicing bars out in New York. She's amazing. She's a millionaire. She's the GOAT at what she does. And she actually opened up the doors for a lot of people. And she also helped change my career. I got Chella H on Lip Service, and Lip Service is a show that Angela Yee has in New York. And when I did that booking, that actually helped change my life.
Right.
So always shout out to Angela Yee. She's juicy for sure.
Ooh, speak on it. All right. Kendra G.
Kendra Juicy.
Why?
Because she's a Black woman in media, and I can only imagine all the time that she gets and all the hate that she gets. I respect what she's doing.
Monz, you got anything over there? Okay, hold on. You think about it. I'm
Go
going to go.
ahead. Keep it going. You got a list.
AC Green.
Juicy. Without AC Green got me on Soul 106.3 FM. Literally, within my second year of starting my radio show. That's after 2 years of starting an online show, I was able to be on an FM station because of AC Green. And I would never forget that phone call. He called me at 6 a.m. in the morning. I was halfway asleep. But when I seen AC Green name on my phone,
jumped up.
It sounded like I was out all day. I said, hello, AC Green. Yeah. Hey, AC. And I'll never ever forget. He said, Joyce, so I've been keeping you in mind. J-Mal, I didn't even know who J-Mal Green was at the time. He said, J-Mal Green and Prince Tim, they're starting a show on Soul 106.3 FM and they looking for a female co-host. I said, drops phone. What? When do I start? Can I come now? Like,
right. No pay. You ain't worry about none of that.
I don't know. And that's another thing too. You going into radio, and that was a syndicated station too. So a lot of syndicated stations you have to fund off sponsors and ads. That was a station we had to fund, and those stations, the price is $4,000 a month. So we needed sponsors for that. So to be on a show, nope. I just needed to find sponsors, and really, as a radio personality, it's not a lot of money in that. You're not really getting paid unless you have a big sponsor behind you. So I was just doing that on my free time. I don't think I got paid at all doing Soul 106.3.
How long did it last?
About a year, and then COVID happened.
So I'm gonna mess with you on this one. Italian Fiesta.
Juicy, for sure.
And why?
That's the best pizza in Chicago. Italian Fiesta and Home Run Inn.
Okay, see, she on the song.
Italian Fiesta, Home Run Inn,
She might be on the song.
hands down, two best pizza in Chicago for sure.
Man, it's too much. You know
What's
what?
yours?
You know, it's too much pizza in Chicago for me to say like what my favorite is though. Like Italian Fiesta, I would say this. I grew up eating Pizza Hut. Italian Fiesta was when you had your little school parties, you know, they get pizza. Okay, this is good. And then you get around the city and you're like, oh, we got other pizza over here. I mess with Giordano's. I just don't do the deep dish. Ultra thin. I mess with Beggars.
Definitely
I mess with Foxes.
Beggars good.
Baracos. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, you know, but I get around. It's too much pizza in Chicago, you know.
Now, I can do Beggars for sure. Beggars fire.
Yeah.
That's a good one. And thin. I don't know. Everybody always thinks Chicago people love the thick crust.
Yeah.
Man.
Like, I like it super thin too.
Absolutely.
That
Just cut it in squares. We good.
You know?
Yeah.
You definitely gonna take some of that damn pizza, all that pizza.
Hey, I'm gonna take all of it. Come on.
I got one for you right here, and I want the honest, unadulterated truth. Now, you're gonna have to be one or the other. One dry, one wet.
Mhm.
WGCI 92.3.
WGCI wet, 92.3 dry. Because number one, WGCI, they're actually funded with real money. They actually getting a real bag. 92.3, in my opinion, I don't think they pay personalities enough money. They're in there for hours and days, running shows, running the board, operating things, taking calls, and their salary is less than minimum wage. So actually the whole 92.3 company is disrespectful. But 107.5, some respect is on their name for sure. They getting paid as they should. Any radio personality should get paid because it's a lot of time you putting in that. And a lot of personalities put in free time doing what they're doing.
South side, west side.
South side for sure. I'm born and raised on the low end. Come on, man. I'm a 39th baby. IDB Wells baby. Now, my dad from the west side, so I rock with 292.
Okay.
I rock with 290, but I'm Michelle Obama. We on the south side, y'all.
All right, we gonna stay right there then, because I threw this in as I was on my way over here. I thought about this. Oprah Winfrey, Michelle Obama.
Michelle Obama. Now,
Wet,
if you would
dry.
Michelle wet, Oprah dry. I say Oprah dry because I used to be a huge Oprah fan. I wanted to meet her so bad, but she turned on a lot of us. She turned on a lot of black people. And even Michael Jackson. When Michael Jackson was alive, she was his friend.
Right.
Oh yeah, Michael kicking it, interviewing him, but as soon as he died, she was interviewing the boys that he slept with. So you're kind of a backstabber, Oprah. And then it's like, Oprah, I love you, but are you gay? What are you doing? Are you dating Yale? Are you dating your best friend? It's a lot of just confusing things for Oprah. So I would definitely give it to Michelle Obama. She's classy. She's from the south side of Chicago. Also, my mother's name is Michelle.
Oh, she said tripping.
So come on. I just love how I seen the story of the documentary of Michelle and Obama. And just knowing how Michelle held it down for Barack, y'all see she recently came out with an interview and said for 10 years she wasn't happy with Barack. But just imagine how much a woman really sacrificed being with a man with daughters. Daughters, we come with a lot. Like, we get cycles. It's a lot raising daughters. And of course, men too, but women, we're emotional. So it's just having to deal with those different emotions that girls, especially little girls, go through. I just couldn't imagine what Michelle went through for those 10 years, but she held it down.
All right, we're going to get the last one before we go on break. Jay with the juice.
Tabby Mo?
That's your co-host, huh?
You talking about Jay with the juice. Jay with the juice. Jay. Yeah, so Jay with the juice, she just recently started helping out the juice probably like 2 months ago. She's juicy for sure. The Jay with the juice definitely juicy. That's my girl.
All right, so man, I'm seeing you out here. You know, you're doing a lot of things, and you're not afraid to put yourself in, a new territory, and I see that, man. You've also got author under your belt. Talk to us about that.
Most definitely. I will definitely be a soon-to-be children's book author. It's written already. It's actually in the process getting illustrated. I found the all-Black illustrator from the South Side of Chicago. And it will be on Amazon, and it's called I Want to Be the Best I Can Be. And the story is basically talking about a Black girl from Chicago. It's kind of my life, but I named the character. So all my ladies that know this, Juna B. Jones, if I have any Juna B. Jones fans, okay. Juna B. Jones was a series of this little white girl back in 1996. She would go to school, and she just didn't like school. So I was like a reader back then. I read like all the Juna B. Jones series. So this is a specific book about Jayla B. And that's my niece name, Jayla B. But the life is about me. And it's basically about a Black girl from the South Side of Chicago. And she don't like school. And it's really a true story because I grew up not really liking school. And it just shows the message that her mom instilled in her, just being the best you can be. Like, you may not know what you want to do or where you're going to go or how you're going to start. You just have to be the best you can be at everything you do. So that's the message of the book.
Man, that's dope. And like nowadays, young ladies, they really need those type of role models.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to speak on, what's out here in the media and all of that. It's art. I get it, but it is important that there's balance in that art as well, so you giving back by giving them
Mm-hmm.
This piece of art this work that you're giving them. So on top of that, what are some other philanthropist, acts that you got going on?
Definitely. Well, I have a non-for-profit also. My non-for-profit is actually the same name as the Jew Chicago, and it's all about Black women empowerment. And eventually, I have board members on my non-for-profit. The goal was to provide safe events for the community while giving back and opening doors for Black women and men that want to get into media. We haven't had any event. It's a lot with the non-for-profit, but definitely, you guys go check out the Jew Chicago non-for-profit.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. You got a website or social media handles for
the
that?
website is The Jew Chicago, www. The Jew Chicago. Instagram, Joycie Jay. And that's on everything.
All right. So I want to ask this question for all three of us. So we're going to go out with this question, but we're going to start, or maybe we should end with you. So we're going to start with you, me, and then you're going to end us off with your answer. So the question, right? What's the biggest fear you had to overcome in the process or journey of becoming you, the person you are today? The biggest fear that you had to overcome in the process of becoming the man or woman that you are today?
I would say with me is the fear of not being a perfectionist, or I don't know if I'm wording that right, but, making sure that I'm putting my best self forward, but understanding that there's no such thing as perfection, in this life. And if I'm answering the question right, how to overcome that is that this is not my words, but I've always been a pretty cool guy, judged by people, who said that, who said those words to me. And I've done nothing but be myself my whole life. So if the outside world could say, hey, you're a cool guy, and I've done nothing but be myself, why should I even try to be anything other than that? So the biggest fear would be, not being perfect or a perfectionist or whatever. And getting over that, just being me, putting myself out there, flaws and all, and, just put my best foot forward.
I believe that pertains to me as well. For myself, the biggest fear I had to overcome in the process of the journey, becoming the man that I am today, is trusting my experience. Trusting that what I see, what God has given me, the things I survived and overcome, it's enough to do whatever it is I'm attempting to do. Because sometimes you feel that you need the opinion, you need the support or the influence, or it's okay, you the validation. And I learned I don't need that. And it still shows up. But the more I trust that what I see is what it should be, what I see is what God's telling me, then I'll be okay. So it's that trusting my experience. And that's, the biggest fear that I have to not continue to overcome, but what I had to overcome to even get to this point.
The biggest fear I had to overcome and continuing to overcome is ask for what you want. Because when you ask, you shall receive. And when you speak, you never know who's by you that can help bring that into fruition. Back then, I would always be afraid to just speak up and just ask what I want. I wouldn't want to ask someone for help. I wouldn't want to put myself out there and see what does someone know that could help me. But now I walk in the room quick. Oh, I need this. Can you help me with this? Do you know how to do that? Just ask and you shall receive. Make sure y'all follow me everywhere at Joycie Jay. And that's JoyceJay_.
Listen, man, we had a ball, man. We had an absolute ball. I definitely appreciate you for coming out, showing up, showing out, dropping game, giving insight, helping men and women understand more about you, and in respect, learning more about themselves. So again, we're going to continue to build on what we started here. This is a product for the people, by the people, and where dreams go further than bullets. All right, you squares.
Peace.
Do you really want to know? Do you really want to know? We need this. We need this.
This type of music make the soul feel it.
Do you really want to go?